Write and equation for each function. I think it should be write an equation for each function. Both of those, you have to know parent functions in order to be able to do this. Both of those are absolute value functions. So this is the absolute value parent function is y, you might call it f of x, equals absolute value of x. Now, normally, I'll just draw it on this one. Absolute value of x starts at 0, 0, and it goes, see how it goes right through the diagonals of those squares. So it looks like that. Now, any shift up or down, if it goes up, then it would be absolute value, well, then it would be outside of the absolute values plus the shift up. So I'll just put plus b. B means it's shifting up or down, and it goes with sign. So it's like plus 7, it'd be 7 higher than the x-axis. It usually starts at the x-axis. Now, if there's a shift left or right, it's opposite of the sign. So in other words, what will I call this? I'll just call it h. So h is the left or right shift, and it goes opposite sign. So in other words, if it shifts to the left, it's positive. If it shifts to the right, it's negative. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. That means positive, so it's going to be x. Oh, I'm doing this one. I should have done this one first, but I'll do this one first. Hold on. This is going to be x, and it shifted 4 to the left, so that's plus 4. Left shift is plus, and that goes inside the absolute values. And then it shifted 1, 2, 3 up, plus 3. Now, is there any kind of multiple out in front of the absolute value? Well, look at this. It goes right through the diagonals of the squares, and that's what the original function does. So it doesn't look like it shifted. If this thing was closed up, there would be some number bigger than 1 in front of the absolute value. If it was wider than normal, there would be some number less than 1 in front of the absolute value. But this one is exactly like normal. It goes right through those diagonals. Let me just check a few values. At negative 4, the value of the function should be 3. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0, plus 3 is 3. So that's right. At negative 3, it should be at 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is negative 1. Absolute value of negative 1 is 1, plus 3 is 4. It's correct. I think you'll find that they're all correct. So again, if I shift it up, I add that many spaces here from 0, 0. If I shift it left or right, if it's left, it's positive inside there. If it's right, it's negative inside there. Let's look at the next one. Notice the shift is 1, 2, 3 to the right. This thing should be over here, but instead it's 3x spaces to the right. So that's going to be x minus 3, because when it's to the right, it's negative. And now it should be on the x-axis, but it shifted 2 spaces down, so that's minus 2. And notice it's not going through the diagonals of the square. It should really be this wide if it wasn't multiplied. It looks like it's going, let's see, for every 1 it goes to the right, it's going 1, 2 up. So it's multiplied by 2. Usually it should be 1 up and 1 to the right. This one's going 2 up and 1 to the right. So it's multiplied by 2. And it's y equals. All right, let me check a few values. Let's say at x equal 3, it should be at negative 2. 3 times minus 3 is 0. Not 3 times minus 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. 2 times 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 2 is minus 2. Perfect. At 4, it should be at 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Minus 2 is 0. It worked. So again, because normally it's supposed to go, notice this one didn't have any multiple here. It goes 1 to the right, 1 up. So it's like 1 in front of the absolute value. This one goes 1 to the right, but 2 up. So it's 2 in front of the absolute value. So to figure out what this thing is in front of the absolute value, do the change in y over the change in x, the slope. That's the slope of the line on each side. So in this case, it's 2. It goes 1, 2 up and 1 over. So it's 2 over 1 equals 2. So that's what the shifted absolute value function, or really shifted any function, is y equals slope for absolute value times x plus or minus h. If it's to the right of the y-axis, it's minus h. If it's to the left, it's plus h, plus b, whatever. If it's up, it's plus or minus b. If it's up, it's plus. If it's minus, it's down. And then again, m is the slope. As the line changes, just go to the right and see what the slope is. Count how many it goes up. That goes in the numerator of the slope, and how many it goes over. That's the denominator of the slope. And that's it. So that's absolute value shifting the equation.